Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Great to you. Where you are watching from. My name is Oluwase Fadare. So today I just want to continue with my review lectures on our strategies and do some reviews in respect of 2025 template performances. So we have a lot of templates that we've developed over the months, over the years, actually, and which has been a bit active for now. Okay, so I want to see how those information from those templates can assist us in projecting and taking active decisions, which is what we are now going to build up for the years ahead, especially from 2026. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you as you follow up. Okay, yeah. So this report that you're seeing here is the new BOFAD monthly report. So you can see today, um, although this is a pre ahead of, sorry, a pre ahead of 2026 ahead. So you can see the name of the as January 2026. Meanwhile, today's date is still, so I wanted to get the dates initially. Yep, so today's date is, you can see, 24th of December. Today is still 24th of December. Okay, so this is from this report. Let me share my screen again with you. So from this report that I call the new BOFAD monthly. Okay, so um, how does this work? Okay, so this report, New BOFAD Monthly, has a lot of information on it. Okay, so the first here is the daily reports, as you can see here. Okay, so it's the daily reports. So this started from the 19th, as you can see here, 19th of December. Okay, so what does this information? So you can see here in this column, we have decisions about the performance, the direction of the market or decisions based on the prices. So for example, let's look at AUD Okay. So AUD from the 19th of, I think that's 19th of that's 19th of November to 24th or 23rd of December. Okay. So let's focus more on um December period, which mostly started from here. Okay. So now what's happened from the market? So you can see here, this is AUD card, for example. You can see the lowest price was 0.911, and you can see that the lowest price never changed all through until the 19th that it came back to 0.91. Okay, so all from the first never changed from the 29th, the low price didn't change from 0.911. Then what happened again? You can see that the high price started to change from 0.918, 924, 926. But you can see that from the 5th of the month, the high price never changed again above 0.926. And then it started coming down until it got to 0.91. So it started with 0.911, moved up to 0.926, and then changed direction to come down to 0.91. So, and that is what our decision tree also was able to follow. So you can see our decision tree here. It was initially buy to this point. Initially, this period for the next 5th to 8th, you can see it was wobbling between sell and buy. But from the 11th, it became a full sell downwards until current position, or let's say until 22nd, okay, before it started, wants to try to buy again on the 22nd, okay. So this is one aspect of using this information to get the direction of the market, okay. Now, another way to get the information is to use this mid price. I call it the mid price. So the mid price, so for example, I'm going to copy it to a plain text and I'll be able to show you how it's going to work, okay? So I'm copying the mid price of that into this place, okay? So mid price, going to copy it on a straight line. So you can see, now let's look at the chart to see how the market moved for this. Perfect. So you can see here, the market came down initially to 0.98. From 0.98, it moved up onto 0.919, 0.92, and then it came back again downwards. So, right, even from this information, it's easier for us to monitor the movement of the market and identify the trend upward. So from this point on, the market becomes, it doesn't mean from this point, it doesn't mean that the price is not go beyond this position, okay? But what it means is that at this point, once the price cuts this position upwards, it becomes a buy until it reaches this point. Now, when it moved above this and it cuts this position downwards again, it becomes a sell downwards. So that's just the logic behind this, okay? So this will be able to help the market identify the trend to know when to buy upwards and when to sell downwards. Let's take another look at another product, okay? Let's look at silver. Silver was a crazy market this month. So you can see from the decision here actually that silver was more of a buy, although it began to fluctuate at the time because of a restart, but silver was more of a buy. But let's look at it from our charts again, okay? Oh, sorry. And so copy it again. So this is silver. And to copy it again. So you can see silver. So what are we going to do? Let's look at this map again. So you can see for silver from 50, started growing upwards until date. Are you seeing? So what it means is that it's waiting for the time for the turnover. So this is our buying point. So after the market came down and went up, we started buying upwards until now. So now we are expecting the downward trend for it to start selling. Okay, that's what that means. So let's take one more sample. I think which products should be good for that. Um, okay, let's look at USD Perfect. Okay, so USD USD can see. Can see USD transpose. So this is USD. So let's look at the market for USD as well. You can see that USD is a downtrend. So it got to the peak of about 0.858 at this point here. And then ever since then, it's been a downtrend until now. So now it's expecting the next uptrend for the market. So that is how this information from this side can also be able to use to give idea of the direction of the market. And if you also look at the decision tree here, you see that it's more of sell, sell, sell. So the market came down all the way from point. Let's look at the starting position at the beginning of the month. So all the way from point 802 at the beginning of the month, the market came down to point 786. Can you see that? And the high point, the highest price only reached 0.809. And you see that. So it only reached 0.809, which is perfect. So you can see that this, meanwhile, here is 0.085. So when it got to 0.809, it never went up again, started coming down until this point. So I've been to identify the change in direction will help us to identify the best action to take and also to take those actions adequately and accurately. Okay, so that's for this side of the report. The second side is also what we call the double barrel position. So what this does is that at the beginning of the period, there are always prices established from the beginning. So when other updates are done, it tells us what action to take, whether the market is a sell or a buy. So for this, for example, based on the current price, I think the current price of this has not been updated. Let me see. Let me update it. Let me see if it's not updated so that I can update to the current price. Okay, so it has not been updated. So I'm going to update the price accurately so that it can reflect the true position of the market. Okay. So today is today is 24, but I think the last day of the report is 23. So I'm going to copy this and put it here. So this is the report. So open it and place it here, and then it's going to update the double barrel. So you can see it has updated the double barrel. So what this does is that it gives decisions here on what or where the market is going, which is based on this final decision. Okay. And then it also gives a concept about what are the prices that will control these decisions. Okay. So we either expect the market to go out of these three prices upwards or out of these three prices downwards or to remain inside these three prices. So when it's upwards, it's going to be a buy. When it's downwards, it's going to be a sell. And then when it's in between, it's going to be a no action. So that's how this will be guided. Okay. So for example, look at this is 0.873. You can see that these are 0.877, 0.877, 0.87. So what it means is that this market is a sell. So the EA should be able to, or our actions should be able to take a sell decision from 0.877 downwards to 0.873. If you look at this is a buy, the current price is 183.9, so which means you should have been able to take a buy or make profit from 182.5 up to 183.9 or even up to the highest point. Okay. This as well from 1.174 to 1.177. This as well from 97.19 to 99.10. Look at silver. You can see from 62.91 to 70.9. Today is now about 72. So should have been able to make a profit from 62.91 upwards. You can see here USD CHF, we should have been able to make a sell from 0.796 to 0.789 or lower. Can you see that? So this is all that this information will be able to give us. So all we just need is to enter the prices at the right time and using these three positions as a control point. Okay, so that's why there was an EA I created that once we put in these prices, the EA will be able to take action correctly towards the right direction, whether it buys upwards or it sells downwards. I think I can give us an example of that EA. Okay, I think this is the example of the EA. Yeah, so I think this is the example of the EA. So you can see upwards, so the EA takes beats upwards. And if it's coming downwards, the EA as well takes the beats downwards. So, but for now, let's just focus on what we are focusing on for now. Okay. So that's it. So this three information is supposed to help us and guide us in this decision taking for this template, this double barrel. Okay. So, and then we quickly identify the actions and take it as quickly as possible. So for this, actually, this is the same condition for double barrel, but it's for the year basis. So how do we run this? So you can see here, this was done earlier in the year. Okay, I think around February or March, and it's meant to guide the direction of the market. So you can see here, just like I explained earlier, this one has 95.8, 96 as the range, and the current price is 104.5. So which means you're supposed to have had a good buy from 96 to 104.5. You can see here for AUD/USD, you're supposed to have a buy from 0.624 to 0.669. Let's look at gold. You can see for gold, for example, here, that's gold. You're supposed to have a buy from 2816 or 2819. The current price is 4484. Okay. For silver, you can see the best entry point was 32.4510, and then is currently at 70.9. Wow. So if we had followed these rules, these conditions at that time, it would have given us a good insight of the long-term plan for the year, and would have entered the market accurately, adequately, and timely. Okay, so this is all that is all about, and that is why we need to ensure that we follow this rule effectively in 2026. Okay, so this has explained the entry point of the market that we should consider at that point in time. It doesn't mean that the price just went to buy. Sometimes the market goes to one direction first before changing direction. So at the point of changing direction, then we'll be able to know that yes, this market is changing direction and it's going to the other way around. So look at this, for example, look at GPJPY. It was 190 at then, and now the current highest is 210.11. That's about 20 distance. Can you see that? So it's a whole lot of money if the EA had entered the market at the right timing. Okay, so that's one of the things that we want to avoid in 2026. We want to identify the good entry point for the market and take action. Look at crude oil, 69.5. The current price is 58. Can you see that? So we have a lot of opportunities here on this double barrel for the year and the month. And also we have the monthly chart updates. This information is massive, and I think it's better that I take this lecture on another so that I won't bore you too much. So let me take this lecture in another study. Okay, so I'll call that BOFAD Monthly 2025 Part 2 Review. Okay, BOFAD Monthly Part 2 Review. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. I believe you can be able to go through what we've learned initially before, and then we'll be able to identify and relate with what I've discussed with you so far to see the performance and how the information relates to each other in 2025 from January to December. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. So we'll be able to stop the recording for this season and do the part 2 from another lecture. Thanks, and have a great time ahead. Bye.